Hello, everybody. The Memorial Tournament is upon us. Greatest golfers in the world once again coming to Dublin, Ohio, Jack's Place. And we're here to break it down for you, joined by Adam King, 10 TV, our Skip Mozik, and Timmy Hall, 97.1 The Fan. Guys, we'll start with you, Timmy, because you are like the voice of reason.
A man of the people.
You have your pulse on everything.
Thank you.
The LIV players.
I don't know how to check my own, but...
The LIV players will not be allowed to play in the Memorial Tournament. For instance, John Rahm, who's a former champ, will not be here because of LIV. Is this thing ever going to get figured out, or is this the way it's going to be?
Ever's a long time, so yeah. Like if we look down the line, I mean, take a look at what's going on in college sports. Right. I mean, if we had a conversation 15 years ago and talked about what this is about to look like, and we were about to see lawsuits settled, which are going to cost billions. So you talk ever. Things will happen, but for right now, I really don't want to see this get resolved from the tour's side. I would rather see LIV cave because it's not a good product.
Why would they cave?
They're not going to cave.
It's working. They get to play in the important games.
Well, how do you know the important games?
Yeah, the games. That's very educated there.
How do we know? I was thinking about this when we were watching the PGA Championship. As time goes on, outside of some of the guys that have won those golf tournaments, and really like the 4 or 5 big names, are the majors ever going to hit a point where they just?
I think they'll always have exemptions for the big names because they're trying to sell tickets and TV.
They likely will, but I'm saying there might hit a point of exhaustion with these once big time golfers that were playing in front of big time crowds that say, what are we doing here?
I think DeChambeau might have just put a little sour on your point after this PGA Championship. People were behind him in a way. They weren't even behind him on the PGA Tour. So the idea that, I think the longer this goes on, the more normal it becomes. And I think that's a bigger problem for the PGA, is that people are going to say, okay, well, I see him at the majors and I don't see him the rest of the time.
You can argue real quickly that DeChambeau is the most popular professional golfer in the world right now. More so than Scheffler or anybody else.
Just Victor Hovland.
Based on what we saw at the PGA Championship, people were behind him.
100%.
Skip, we thought about a year ago this deal was going to get resolved. And now you're seeing guys that were part of the deal. They're disappearing. They're getting out. It looks like that ship has sailed. Who gets the blame for this?
The Players Advisory Board, in my opinion. It's just they can't get on the same page with anything. And it's going to take somebody like what they're doing now is getting Tiger Woods involved. And he's going to be the person, the front guy, to say, look, we have got to get a deal done with PIF. Otherwise, we're just going to be spinning our wheels. And the PGA Tour, as we know it, probably can't continue to exist under this current makeup because they're going to run out of money. The only way to get money to compete, to continue doing what they're doing, is to get the deal done with PIF. That way you've got the financial backing to put your master plan together.
Adam, with that said, do you blame any of the players, and I know where Timmy's going to be on this, but do you blame any of these guys that went to LIV because, a $200 million payday, some of the deals these guys were getting, I think, I read, I don't know if it's true, but like Tiger, they offered him a billion, whatever. I mean, we're talking about deep pockets. Do you blame these guys for taking the money?
I blame the original guys still. I still think that was a place in golf that we took a really bad turn. I will say, with every week and every tournament that passes, I understand why some of these guys are getting so upset. They've been promised a solution to this by the PGA for multiple years now, and they're looking at their buddies on the range at the Masters and at the PGA, and these guys are flying private jets to the tee box and saying, why am I continuing to take a massive pay cut knowing that you guys still get to do all the exciting things that
or have to earn your money.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the biggest thing.
I do blame them because it's greed, and greed takes over the world. And we're not talking about guys that were poor, heading to the poorhouse. These were millionaires that wanted to start stacking tens of millions on top of their $1 million piles. And I wish they would have just used the threat of this, if that makes sense. Go 80, 90% of the way, and then stop, and then get the PGA Tour to, like they have done, right? Because they've had to, they've been forced. But let me tell you this, like you talk about all that, and who's watching it though? Are you going to ever be interested in watching it? Does something come along and knock the MLB, the NFL?
But here's the
NBA
problem.
off, and we're just going to start watching something new? No, no one's ever going to do that.
I hear what you're saying,
That's a good point.
and here's the problem. They're never running out of money. They got more money than we will ever dream. They
doesn't
got more
make it
money
good.
than- I'm not. It is bad. It's terrible. But they don't care because they are not going to blink first. I mean, I don't. Do you think they're going to blink?
They're not going to blink at all, Dom. And the biggest, I'll use Dustin Johnson as an example. I don't want to necessarily pick on anybody specifically. But
we're picking on Dustin Johnson.
Does he have the eye of the tiger right now? Does he have the same look at the most recent
No.
major champion?
No.
He doesn't care.
No.
He's getting
He's
paid.
getting paid.
No, I don't care.
Now, I will say this. When you go back and look at all of this, first of all, Timmy, I'd like to know where that Peter Millar, was that sponsored by LIV money? Was that, we'd like to know.
Hard-earned cash.
Uh-huh. But when you look at
Fan dollars.
Yeah, hard-earned fan dollars,
when
baby.
you look at the PGA, I think you make a very valid point. I would rather watch the John Deere Open on a Sunday afternoon.
It's the classic.
The John Deere Classic. I apologize. That's twice. I called it a game, and I'd rather watch the John Deere Classic. Like I'm watching golf every week, and they could tell me it's the biggest live event of all time, and I'm not turning off the John Deere Classic.
It doesn't
So
matter.
It's not hooking
you'll
me
have
in.
You'll have to do this for 100 years.
Here's the solution, and I've got it right here, and this is the solution.
All right, here we go,
Put
Jay.
you on a plane with Tiger. Let's
Jay
go.
Monahan.
But it's going to take guts to do it.
Okay.
You need to tell anyone that the Europeans, the PGA, all the majors need to come to an agreement that if you're on LIV, you can't play in the majors. You just don't let them. Because then all of a sudden, because these guys are driven by one thing, the majors. That's the one thing that gets their attention. Tiger was chasing Jack. They want to be known. You know, the money's great, but they want to win majors. And if you say, hey, if you're on LIV, guess what? You're not playing in the British Open. You're not playing in the U.S. Open. You're not playing in the Masters. And you're not going to play in the PGA. If you do that, guess what? I guarantee you some solutions will get made.
But the only way to make that happen is you have to get all of those entities that put on those events
Absolutely.
get under the same umbrella as the PGA Tour. And I don't think that's
the only way to fix it.
The RNA isn't going to do it. Augusta National is always going to do whatever they want. The PGA of America is going to do what they want.
Which is wild that the PGA of America, has said, yeah, all right, you guys can play in our major. That's fine.
Like, do we need Taylor Gooch in our lives? No. No, I don't think
Timmy,
we do.
I think this
John
segment,
Rahm and
we're
Cam
talking-
Smith and
we're
you know,
talking
some
about
of these
LIV.
guys,
Can we agree
maybe,
if they
but-
did that?
Yes.
If
Oh, it'd
they
be done.
did that,
It'd be gone.
this thing would be settled.
It would be
we
settled.
would get rid of, what did you call them?
The Live Boys.
There you go.
I mean, because there's, I mean, as much money, I mean, people want to win majors.
They do.
I mean, that's why all the LIV guys, they want to play in the majors, and they won that battle. And, you know, not being allowed to play in the John Deere, not being allowed to play. I mean, and the thing is, correct me if I'm wrong, Skip, if we look back at the history of golf, guys that would play, for instance, on the European Tour, they would still come and cherry pick and play here. But it's this
You lay off
war.
of Colin Montgomery.
It's the war they've got with LIV. So if and it looks like it's just the PGA against the world right now, right?
Absolutely. PGA Tour against the world. And that's kind of what's going on with this whole thing. And where's it going to end? We don't know. I think golf fans in general are growing tired of this, though. I know I am. I love the game more than anybody. And I'm growing tired of no movement on any front in regards to this.
So Skip, are you still watching? Like Rory and Xander had that battle. I know you do the lovely show, Skip Mossick, every Saturday morning.
It's on
on the
97.1.
Fan. Yeah, and he's the only guy that has a golf bag that's got like a show logo stitched into the back pocket. It's pretty
He
sweet.
paid a lot of money for that.
You know
Not
he's
this amount of
he's coming when you see him on the course. But what I was asking is, how much, if it weren't for that show, would you just sink into the couch like Adam talked about on a Saturday or a Sunday? If it's not one of the four majors or the Memorial, leave that one out because we love that event.
It's always on. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm always checking it out as far as what's going on. But it's more exciting when there's an actual competition. It's always more exciting when you have a bigger name. But I don't want to see somebody win by 10.
Yeah.
Because then
So
that's
you're not
just
watching the
like,
back
ah,
nine on Sunday.
I'll
That's
go finish,
exactly
I'll
right.
go finish cooking Sunday dinner.
I
You know
will,
that, Dom?
I will say, though, in no numbers to get behind this, and just quickly, though, just what I feel, since a lot of these guys defected, I feel that some of the cream of the crop at the PGA Tour level has risen. Like you see Rory's not winning majors, but man, is Rory winning a lot of golf tournaments and in the top 3.
Right.
Scotty Scheffler's winning a golf tournament every single week
When
he
does
plays.
he
That's
jump
so
ship, though?
exciting.
Well, he
When
won't.
does he jump?
He won't.
He
Though,
won't.
I
He won't.
will say this.
Never say
I think
never.
the guys that you see now, and Timmy, you don't have to make great points, but that was a great point.
Come on, I made like 4 of them on this thing.
Every week now, when you're looking at that leaderboard, you're thinking, wow, that is a great leaderboard as we head to the back 9 on Sunday.
Yeah.
It's not a lot of names that you don't know anymore, which I think is, and you're going to see that at Muirfield with the top 70 golfers in the world. You're going to see the best in the world at the top of the leaderboard again.
I will just say, last thing, never say never. And the longer this thing goes and the longer that they're throwing crazy money out there, nothing. I never thought John Rahm
No,
would
that was,
go.
Well,
that's
I
the name
mean,
I was going to bring up, Dom.
Scotty is a hardened criminal now, so he probably is going to take all that.
Okay,
Saudi
here
money.
you go.
big
We
bail.
went there. Keep
We're
it on
off the
10 TV, 97.1 The Fan for all your Memorial Tournament coverage needs. We are simply, especially this man, the best.